Hello everyone, my name is Josie Pratio Ambarita. I'm a student from a Faculty of Letter at Universitas Metodis Indonesia. So in this situation, I'm going to share to all of you about types of morpheme. But before we start it, let's talk about morpheme. So, what is a morpheme? A morpheme is the smallest meaningful and syntactical or grammatical unit of a language which cannot be divided without changing its actual meaning. For instance, the word love is a morpheme, but if you dispel any character such as E, then it will be meaningless or loses the actual meaning of love. Now, we can say a morpheme is the smallest grammatical unit of a language by which meaningful words are formed. So now, let's go to types of morpheme. There are two types of morphemes. The first one is free morphemes and the second one is the bound morphemes. Free morpheme can stand alone with a specific meaning. For example, eat, date, and wait. Bound morpheme cannot stand alone with meaning. Free morpheme can be categorized into the two subtypes. The first one is the lexical morpheme. The lexical morphemes are those morphemes that are large in a number and independently meaningful. The lexical morpheme includes nouns, adjectives, and verbs. For example, dog, good, honest, boy, girl, and woman. And the second one, a grammatical or functional morphemes. A grammatical or functional morphemes are those morphemes that consist of functional words in a language such as prepositions, conjunction determiners, and pronouns. For example, and, but, or, above, on, into, after, that, and do. Now let's talk about bound morpheme. A morpheme that doesn't have any independent meaning and can be formed with the help of free morphemes is called a bound morpheme. For example, less, less, be, and shifts men. Bound morpheme can be categorized into two subclasses. There are bound roots and affixes. Bound roots are those bound morphemes which lexical meaning when they are included to other bound morpheme to form the content words. For example, shift, tain, perceive, deceive, retain, and contain. Now, let's talk about affixes. Affixes are those bound morphemes which naturally attach different types of words and used to change the meaning or a function of those words. For example, man in payment, enjoyment, and entertainment words. The next is ed in, enlighten, enhance, and large words. And the next is S in Joseph's Flores. And the last is in reading, sleeping, and singing words. Affixes can be categorized into 5 subclasses according to their position in the word and a function in a phrase or sentence. There are prefixes, infixes, suffixes, derivational, and inflectional. Let's talk about derivational affixes. Derivational morphemes are used to make noun words by changing their meaning or different grammatical category. Derivational morphemes can be categorized into 2 subclasses. There are class-maintaining derivational morphemes and class-changing derivational morphemes. Class-maintaining derivational morphemes are usually produce a derived form of the same class as the root. They don't change the class of the parts of speech. For example, sheep, food in relationship, leadership, and manhood words. The next is the class-changing derivational morpheme. Class-changing derivational morphemes are usually produce a derived form of the other class from the root. For example, in teacher words and is in boyish and all in national. Now let's talk about inflectional affixes. Inflectional morphemes are not used to produce new words, rather indicate the aspect of the grammar function of the word. In noun, plural is the sources, and possessive is a Jack's choruses. In verbs, third person singular number non-past. The example, Jack teaches English well. And then, he reaches the place on time. In possessive is used in, for example, he is writing and she is singing. In past participle is used en or ed. For example, he has written the book and he worked. In adjective, the first is comparative, use er. For example, John is happier than before. And the next one is superlative, use as. For example, he is tallest person in the class. So it's all my explanation about this topic. Thank you for your attention. Have a nice day.